let's check this video out, guys. Blizzard is finally fixing these rune issues. Seasonal Discovery update, okay?
Shaman's got a little bit of a nerf, and Warlock's got quite a large buff, as well as some more hot fixes and some unannounced hot fixes that will actually change a lot of things going on in the game.
Not at all, actually.
Like a ridiculous gold farm that I made a video about earlier today has been hot fixed, and I'll get into all of these right now.
Okay.
So first, with the major change, the big one, I think, personally,
Druids.
is that we have finally seen a change in where the runes are for Druid tanks. Feral Druids had to choose between Mangle and Lacerate, and Lacerate was actually probably your best threat modifier. Like, you had to choose Lacerate, but you need Mangle to buff your raid. Well,
yeah,
no
it's
longer
weird that
is
they're
this
both
the case
in the gloves.
Lacerate is being moved off of the hand slot onto the leg slot.
That's good.
So now it gets rid of having Savage Roar or Skull Bash as a
That's just way better though, because I feel like Druids have always been like the underdog in everything except being boomkins, I guess. But like the tank stuff, like why would you bring a feral? You can just bring a warrior or a shaman now, right? But this is good. Yeah, this is massive.
Feral Druid that's not really doing anything.
It's good having a variety of tanks.
And on that note, Skull Bash, the interrupt that you see I don't even have because it's only useful in PvP, is actually moved now to the hand slot. So replacing Lacerate, they're swapping spots. Also, the threat modifier of Mangle was significantly increased, so Feral Druids will have a ton more threat. And in the last phase, they got a huge buff to their swipe threat modifier, so Feral Druids are looking
overall massive buffs
right now. And the last adjustment for Ferals was that the Star Surge rune, or the Star Surge ability, will now no longer consume your clear casting procs. And the Star Surge rune or ability is so good, mostly because it's so cheap. Look at this, 10 mana.
Yeah.
So this was being consumed for your actual free procs whenever you had clear casting to get a free cast. It was actually wasting a ton of mana, and this has been fixed. Hopefully it's a little bit of tuning for Balanced Druid, but it's probably not enough at all to see how Balanced Druid will perform. And I say that in reference to some classes.
Wait,
like
warrior? Hey man, I'm leveling my warrior. Don't be something bad.
Warriors being able to already do 4,000 DPS on some of these fights, and they're definitely going to be hitting 5k DPS on things like Morphaz, as you can see in the background. This is Alondo.
How dumb is that, man? Holy shit.
Messed up some of his CDs and doing 3.5k DPS on this fight. You can also see a lot of the other classes.
As it should be, brown on top. Yep.
Performing well here. We have enhanced shamans, we have feral druids. All physical classes are looking really solid, and I will have a DPS tier list coming out on the channel tomorrow. And onwards to paladins. Paladins in their helm slot have 2 amazing runes for holy paladins.
Dude, I'm sorry, I can't get over the. It's actually we're pretty much at wrath numbers almost, man. The power scaling is so crazy. Like, we're gonna be able to like run Molten Core with a 5-man group by the time we get to 60. What's up, 18B?
Which gives you 18% crit, and Light's Grace, which actually reduces the cast time of your Holy Light. Now, these runes have
do keep in mind though, guys, that clip with the warrior, it is 100% extra damage, so he's technically only hitting executes that hit for 9k. Not that it makes it better, but you know.
Been separated because you would always choose the crit over the Holy Light reduction, and now Light's Grace is on the leg slot. Out here competing against, I'm not even sure, I think it's Divine Sacrifice or Exorcism or... Yeah, okay, it's now on the leg slot,
Nerf Hunters.
So you can actually use both of these. It's a really nice change. As for rogues, focused attacks, the rune that gives you 2 energy every time you crit has been buffed to now give you 3 energy every time you crit. I'm not sure if this will be viable now in PvE, but rogues are in a really solid spot this phase already.
Rogues are blasting, man. Like, Asimus in our raid has been doing a ton of damage.
And for rogues, Fiery Weapon was actually proccing combat potency and deadly brew.
Oh shit.
Pretty much putting up poisons as well as giving you extra energy, just having Fiery Weapon.
What the hell?
This was kind of a mistake. This has now been fixed. It no longer does that. And the Shaman Overcharge rune. The rune that basically allowed you to do infinite AoE damage.
Wait.
Shaman with Lightning Shield has now been nerfed a little bit to have an ICD of 3 seconds. So
what? Wait, hey, dude, that's not what I wanted, man. Hey. So before it had an ICD internal cooldown of a second. Now it's 3 seconds. You did this, man, dude. I was just playing the game, man. I had no I had nothing to do with that nerf. Okay, nothing to do with me. Not my fault. I mean, they could at least have put it at 2, man. Okay, like, come on.
Now,
dude, look how much fun I was having. Look at that thing, man. I was loving life, man. I wasn't even playing the game.
Won't just infinitely proc instantly, doing thousands and thousands of damage every second if you have a big pull. For Warlock's Unstable Affliction, your Affliction dot or your Affliction rune has been buffed massively. It's literally been buffed 120% extra damage. Now this means that the ability from this, where you dispel it, and it was already doing 648 damage when you dispel it with literally 0 spell power, that is being more than doubled. So you're gonna see people get one shot by this being dispelled in PvP. It can also crit.
Yeah, like what? And it can crit, yeah, because Warlock has that new head rune, right?
By the way, so you're definitely gonna see this hit people for like 2,500 with spell power and a crit, maybe even more.
Dude, Sword PvP is cooked. It is just cooked, man. Are you?
Upwards of like 3,000 to be brutally honest. So watch out if you see this in PvP now.
What
it should
the
be
heck?
viable in PvE, but if you see this on you in PvP, like don't dispel it. You'll just one-shot yourself. They also made it so that Warlocks get life tap, returning mana to their pets as well. So whenever you life tap, your pet will also get mana back. And in Metamorphosis, your Master Demonologist talent now appropriately gains threat generation from the Imp and Felguard. It was just a little bit buggy, giving you threat reduction, so this is a nice fix. Unstable Affliction for
this was uploaded 2 hours, by the way, so it's probably coming now, or like is he already?
Now is also affected by Haunt's damage increase, as well as if your dots crit from your Pandemic rune, it will trigger Dance
12
of the Wicked.
months, baby.
Yo, Kima, thank you for the 12 months. Welcome back, dude.
Giving you a little bit of extra dodge. So this makes you a little bit more tanky. It's a really nice change they've added. And Warrior's Victory Rush was buffed from giving you 10% of your HP back to now giving you 30% of your HP.
Oh, shit.
It's just gonna make it a lot easier for you in open world PvP.
Yeah, that's nice.
During the leveling process. It's not gonna be used in the raids, but definitely a nice quality of life change here.
That's good.
The Warrior's Gladiator stance now properly is coded as stance number 4. It was coded as stance number 1, meaning every time you learned this rune, you would actually have to recode all of your macros. It was it's crazy, but they did fix this actually pretty quickly, so it is now stance number 4, a lot easier for warriors to code their macros. And as for some
then what happens to Guzu? Last time I watched him, he didn't need a drone to be able to see his hairline. Hey, what's up, Dash? How you doing, man? Good to see you, bro.
Unannounced tunings. One of the things that was happening for mages was that the fire rune trinket, which would give you 100 extra fire damage on your very next fire spell, was not actually affecting Frostfire Bolt. So you actually just got 100 extra fire damage, spell damage, just for an entire minute. This has now been hotfixed. So
I don't know what you want me to respond to that. It's like, hi dude, good to see you as well.
This should be fixed in the game. You won't be able to do this. Also, the gold farm from the Nightmare Resonance Crystal Trinket has been nerfed to the point of some of the spawns that you were doing from
I haven't even seen this.
Today, we're on a 6-minute respawn timer. Now it should be a 1-hour respawn timer, making it a lot harder to get some crazy things like epics, which actually reportedly have a pretty low drop rate. I think the people that sent a lot of info for this actually got really, really lucky, but the epics are supposedly to have like a normal drop rate from these. And 2 of the Darkmoon cards have kind of been buffed. Darkmoon card Overgrowth, which works kind of like Revitalize. If you heal someone, it gives them a little bit extra mana, rage, or energy. If every healer had this in the raid and they were all spamming hots on like a warrior or a rogue,
they would maybe give as much mana as Shaman with Shamanistic Rage, man.
Would probably have like infinite energy or rage, but this proc chance was increased from 5% to 10%.
It's still kind of not that great though.
Card Decay, the one that will stack up and then do a little bit of single target damage, is actually now properly triggering from ranged attacks as well as
this is the best in slot trinket, I think, right?
Attacks. And lastly, the best food in the game that you can get right now by far, the Jungle Durian, giving you 3,000.
Wait, what? Wait, how much does the roasted quail give? Bro, what the heck? That's insane. I didn't even know this existed. What the fuck? Best water in Classic gives you 4.4k? Yeah, I was just seeing the numbers and I was like, wait, what?
1,200.
You need a flask of mojo for a stack? Or you purchase these from mojos?
HP and 6,600 mana each time you eat these. In 30 seconds, obviously, has now been increased from getting 10 of these per turn in of Flask of a
Okay, this is not worth it, but I guess they're really good.
Getting 20 of these. This is a really nice quality of life change, and you turn these in at Yojamba.
That's a little expensive though for food.
In Stranglethorn Vale. And that should sum up all of the things that are happening in World of Warcraft SOD.
Alright, cool little video.
So far. There are some minor changes, nothing too massive right now, but again, some of the classes are doing insane amounts of DPS. Warriors above 3,000 DPS on multiple fights. Rogues, shamans, and melee hunters absolutely pumping damage as well. A little bit less than most warriors, at least when warriors are at some sort of top end. But these classes are all doing really well. All of the physical classes. So again, if you want to see a DPS tier list breakdown for this entire
I'll link the video, chat.
Definitely make sure to follow the channel and just watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, check out Sarth, guys. Really cool guy. Makes a lot of really nice SOD content. He's been going a lot on that.